Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Tornadoes and torrential rains threaten millions. I'm Courtney Zabowski in Oklahoma City, where people have been forced to seek shelter from the storm.
I'm Emma Hamilton reporting in Bozeman with the latest on the housing action plan for the city.
Just ahead of 6:30 on this Tuesday, Chet Lehman, Missy O'Malley with you here. We will have Emma's story in just a moment, but our top story this half hour, Tornado Alley lived up to its name yesterday with more than a dozen twisters touching down over a 24-hour period of time.
So far, there have been no injuries, despite some severe storms from Texas all the way to Kansas, and parts of Oklahoma are now dealing with heavy flooding overnight. CBS's Courtney Zabowski is in Oklahoma with more.
Tornadoes swept over the southern plains Monday.
And it's moving fast.
More than a dozen were spotted, though most hit sparsely populated areas.
Anybody on the west side of Mangum, in Mangum, you need to just take shelter. This is a large tornado.
In southwest Oklahoma, one twister damaged nearly a dozen structures in Mangum, including a 112-year-old home.
We've seen it just right over there about around where the softball field is, which is not very far.
Brenda and Dale Rogers rode out the storm in their laundry room with their 7-year-old Chihuahua.
Finally, my husband says, we're going to have to go somewhere.
North of Oklahoma City, a tornado destroyed Coy Harmon's home.
Devastated. I mean, you just couldn't believe that you left it a half hour earlier and it was all there.
Overnight, the severe storm overwhelmed low-lying areas throughout Oklahoma. Several people needed to be rescued from the flooding.
And it looks like we got water that's at least above the knees.
Tornadoes also hit Texas.
That is wild.
Violent hail rained down on Lubbock. And a tornado knocked over power lines in Pittsburgh, Kansas, and took out at least one structure. Courtney Zabowski, CBS News, Oklahoma City.
Missouri and northern Arkansas are expected to get hit with severe thunderstorms today. Matt, that whole area is just getting...
Very impressive. There are 23 reports of tornadoes across Texas, Oklahoma, back into parts of Kansas, Missouri. So you can see also one off to the west. But what's impressive, this is the area that's targeted today. And you can see it looks like a bullseye once again into parts of Missouri. Wow. We have a whole different situation. Temperatures in the 40s.
Oh, boy. I'd rather take this, though. Let's be honest.
I'm with you. Temperatures into the 40s, spotty rain showers. It's going to be on the lighter side. There is a chance of snow. I don't know. You kind of have to take that with a grain of salt, right? But we're not worrying about tornadoes. We'll talk about our snow potential and much more coming up in just a few minutes.
I think I'd still rather have the snow than those little mints that symbol that you have on your map there. Yeah.
No kidding.
6:32 now. Our top local story this half hour. The city of Bozeman taking another step in the issue of affordable housing.
MTN's Emma Hamilton has the latest on the whole process.
Last Monday, commissioners approved the next step in the affordable housing work, and that next step is the action plan. Navigate LLC is the outside consultant that's been working with the Bozeman staff on this project. The community housing needs assessment is now complete and is helping the city to continue to move forward with this process.
Well, I think the main thing it's going to consist of is that the consultants who are experts in this process will bring or present to the working group 15 or 20 tools, they call that, which are things that are done in other communities to relieve the affordable housing, stress or problems. And so this working group will discuss each of those tools and rank and prioritize them.
The goal of this action plan is to understand the community housing needs and to design a plan to build more housing for a range of residents within the city.
But I think it's particularly appropriate to find housing that is accessible to people who are in the Bozeman workforce.
Developers have preliminary plans to build 97 affordable condominium units right here on what would be 8th Avenue if it was constructed. Some of these units would be available to those making 80% of the area median income, up to 110%.
What makes it feasible is two kinds of incentive funds. So the first one is New Markets Tax Credits. That's the big one. That's a federal program, and it's for investments in things like jobs and housing in what are considered low and moderate income census tracts, which is where this is. And then the second one is, of course, the tax increment financing funds. This project wouldn't be possible without tax increment financing to support the infrastructure that will be necessary to be constructed for this project.
Reporting in Bozeman, Emma Hamilton, MTN News.
Now, the city does want community input. They're hosting a public workshop on Thursday.
I'll get this one here. In Butte, members of a wedding party helped police capture a man accused of severely beating a woman late Saturday. Police arrested 25-year-old Levi Anderson in connection with hitting a woman several times. After the assault, the victim ran from her attacker, who was chasing her. She ran to the Butte Country Club, where a wedding reception was being held. Two men from that party then chased after her attacker.
They chased him through the Country Club parking lot, across Elizabeth Warren, north on Albany Street, until they tackled him on the corner of Albany and East Lake. They held him there until police arrived there.
Awesome, by the way. Anderson remains jailed on a felony charge of partner or family member assault.
Yeah, she walked into the right place at the right time.
True.
No kidding. And a Bozeman man accused of resisting arrest, among other charges, made an appearance yesterday in Gallatin County Justice Court. Around 6 p.m. Friday, sheriff deputies responded to a report that 39-year-old Jeremiah Zentner was loitering at a home on Stagecoach Trail in Bozeman. A short time later, police officers stopped him on Churchill Road. When officers got out of the car to walk up to the car, Zentner took off in his vehicle. After a brief pursuit that reached up to 90 miles an hour, they saw the man weaving across the center line. Officers finally arrested the man near Dyke Road and took him into custody. Officers found a syringe in his front pocket.
Also, 45-year-old Colleen Golden appeared in Gallatin County Justice Court facing several charges after police found methamphetamine among other drugs in her vehicle while she was driving with her 13-year-old son. Around 11:30 Sunday morning, police stopped Golden for a traffic violation near West Oak Street, discovered a box of syringes behind the driver's seat along with a glass pipe. After canine search found more drugs and paraphernalia in the vehicle, Golden was arrested.
And a man in north central Montana faces animal cruelty charges after more than a dozen bulls died of starvation this past winter. Philip Eugene Johnson faces 25 felony counts of cruelty to animals. Prosecutors say he brought 26 bulls to the property in western part of Pend Oreille County last fall. Now, in April, a county sheriff's deputy began investigating a report of cattle starving to death in that area. And a nearby rancher told the Deputy Johnson that they never checked on the animals during the winter. Now, the neighbor claimed Johnson told him that the animals could survive on snow and grass. The rancher then discovered only 15 of the 26 bulls were alive. Grizzly bears were also eating the carcasses of those dead bulls. Johnson has not been arrested yet.
A U.S. Supreme Court ruling could have long-lasting impacts on historic treaty rights. Claven Herrera, a member of the Crow tribe, has spent years fighting the state of Wyoming after he was charged with game violations for pursuing an elk across Crow Reservation line. Yesterday, the U.S. Supreme Court decided in Herrera's favor, affirming that the Crow tribe's hunting rights under the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie are still valid. Wyoming had argued the treaty rights ended when Wyoming became a state. That case could set a precedent for tribal hunting rights and the application of Indian treaties. The American Civil Liberties Union called the ruling a huge win for Claven Herrera, the Crow tribe across the country that entered treaties with the federal government.
And in Alberta, Canada, our neighbors to the north are already battling multiple wildfires. Officials there are reporting at least 6 out-of-control wildfires in the province. Mandatory evacuation order was issued yesterday for parts of the town of High Level in the northern part of Alberta. Now, the area is threatened by fire, which is now more than 170,000 acres in size.
And here in Montana, Montana Governor Steve Bullock has created a new advisory council to help examine the current conditions of Montana's forest and mitigate wildfire danger, I should say. The Montana Forest Action Advisory Council will update Montana's Forest Action Plan. Council members include timber industry officials, conservationists, and representatives from local, state, federal, and tribal agencies. The group will examine statewide forest conditions and identifying priority areas for treatment. Its final report will be delivered to the governor in the fall of 2020.
6:38 here on your Tuesday morning. It is time for a quick break.